Welcome back guys, you are watching Rising Coders Era and we are going to create an array, and from that array we are going to find out the minimum and maximum value. So here we are just going to start. First of all, we are going to create an array of an integer. So I'm just writing here integer, and so it is going to be of numbers. I'm just going to create a variable of numbers, and inside which we are going to pass some values. Then after that, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to create a method so which is going to find out the largest value. First we are going to find the largest number over here, so I'm just going to write public static as we created in previous video also this method, and find largest number. Okay, largest number is going to be the name of this method, and inside which we are going to pass integer, and then we are going to pass an array, arr. These two parameters we have just passed over here, and now I'm just going to use the if else statement. So first we are going to do the validation over here, validation. So okay, it should work only when the something is there inside an array. Array must not be null. Some numbers must be there inside array. So we are just going to use a validation over here. So when the array, okay, when the array is going to be null, at this point we just have to display this error, array.length as well. So when the length of the array is also 0, null is nothing but when it is 0. Okay, the value of array is 0, or you can just write here the second condition, that is going to be array.length. Okay, array.length is nothing but the length of the array when it is going to be 0. Okay, so at this point it should throw an error, so I'm just going to write throw new, big capital of illegal. Then we are having arguments here also, a must be capital, arguments, and then we write exception, e must be capital, exception. This error is going to be displayed on the terminal. So array is empty or null, empty or null. Okay, this error is going to be displayed on the screen, the terminal. So when the array is going to null, or array length is going to be 0. Okay, this is or we are going to find the largest number. So for finding the largest number, we are having one condition. What we are going to do, we are going to keep the first number. We are going to keep the first number as the highest number. Okay, this is going to be the largest number. We are going to just assume that first number is going to be the largest number, and we are going to compare this first number with second number. If second number is greater, then second number is going to be larger. Okay, then we are going to compare second number with third number. If second number is larger, then it is going to be second number only. Then we are going to compare the second number with this number. Okay, so which is going to be largest? Suppose this is largest, so this is going to be, so here assume first number as maximum. Okay, so I'm just going to assume the first number as maximum. So we are just going to create a variable int max is equal to, and that is going to be the first number. So first number is nothing but array of 0. Okay, so as we know, this indexing, this starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. In this way the indexing is given. Okay, this is 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we have just written array of 0. Array of 0 is going to be maximum for right now. We know it is not a maximum number, but then also for right now we are just going to keep it, we are going to assume it as 0. Then we are going to use the for loop, and for integer. Okay, so as we have just assumed the first number as the maximum is 0, that means this value. So we are going to start it from first index. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we are going to start it from this one. Okay, index number 1. Here I am going to int I, and I'm going to give it value as 1. So we just have to start it from 1, and then I is going to be less than array.length. Okay, so all this must be covered, so we are just using this length, so it must be less than array.length. So all the numbers are going to be checked inside this loop. Okay, then we are having I++, which is going to be incremented from one number to another. Okay, I is 1, and array.length is nothing but it is going to be 0, 1, 2. Okay, array.length is nothing but it is going to later this loop, it is going to check all the numbers inside this array.length. Okay, so after that we just going to write if the array of I, okay, is going to be greater than max, then at this point we just have to do max is equal to array of I. Okay, so what is this? When the array of I, okay, suppose here we have just taken a number, array of I is equal to 1, that means 100. Okay, and 100 is greater than max. Max is nothing but array of 0, so 100 and 10 is going to be compared. So 100 is greater than 10. Yes, it is obviously 100 is greater than 10. So maximum is equal to array of I. That means the maximum value is just updated to the 100. Okay. Then next number we are going to go to 150. So 150 and all these conditions are just clear. Now 150 is greater than max. Now max value is 100 and yes, it is greater. Then it is going to do max is equal to 150. Then we are going to go with 3000. Then 3000 it is going to compare 3000 with max, and max value here is 150. Yes, 3000 is greater than it, so the maximum is going to be 3000. Then we will go with 500. Is 500 greater 3000? No. So the max value is not going to be changed, it is going to be as it is. Now we just want to print the maximum value, so outside this loop we are just going to return max. Okay, so after completing all the loop, the final value of max is going to be printed from here, and we are just going to print it inside the main method. So let's see. Now here inside this we are just going to create a variable int max number is equal to, and we are just going to write the find largest number. Okay, so we are having this integer. Okay, so inside this we are going to pass numbers. Okay, numbers. Okay, so this is the numbers which we are just going to pass. And right now it's time to run the code, and let's see whether there is some errors or not. Expected this. Okay, so I is equal to 1. At this point we have just make some mistake. So okay, and right now when we are just going to run the code, again one error is there. Argument exception, it must be there, and I have just used here yes and added or something, and now we just have to print it. Okay, so it is not going to display until and unless we are just going to not display it on your console. System.out. Okay, system.out.println, and inside this we are just going to write max number, so it is going to store all these things. So inside this I'm just going to write max number. Okay, and then close this, and now when I'm just going to run, it is going to show you 3000 as the largest number. Okay, so you can just write over here plus largest number in array. Okay, and let's see. Largest number in array is 3000. Okay, this is just completed properly. Now it's time to create for finding out the smallest value. So what I am going to do, instead of writing this code again, I'm just going to copy this and paste it here. Okay, and find largest number. So here I am just going to write find smallest number. Okay, just T, smallest number, and all the things I'm just going to keep similar. And this is the validation for smallest number is also going to be same. If array is going to null, it is going to throw the error that array is empty or null. Then assume first number as minimum. Okay, so in this case we are going to assume minimum. Okay, the first number as minimum. So I'm just going to change this variable minimum, min equal to 1. Similar case we are just going to write, and at this max, okay, you can just see here max, just write here alt, click alt, and I'm just going to make it minimum. Okay, so minimum, and this symbol we are just going to change. When the value is going to be less, then it is going to run. Now we are just going to copy this again, and here paste it minimum number. Okay, so max number I'm just going to write here minimum number. Okay, so what we did here, we are just write find smallest number. Okay, so you can just write here find smallest number, and here I'm just going to replace it with minimum number. Okay, now let's run the code and let's see what does it shows. So you can just see 10 is just printed over here as the largest number. Okay, so we are just going to write here the string smallest number, and right now we are just going to run it. So it is going to show you the smallest number in array is 10 and largest number in array is 3000. Okay, I have just removed all the values from an array, and when I'm just going to run this, when the value is empty, it is going to throw the error. Okay, so java.language illegal argument exception, array is empty or null. You can just find out here. Okay, and right now I'm just going to change the numbers. Which array you want, how much big array you want, you can just take it. And right now when we are just going to run, okay, 2000 is the largest number over here, and 10 is the smallest number again. Okay, I'm just going to replace it with 5, and right now we are just going to see. So phi is going to be smallest and okay, the program is working fine. This is all about this lecture. You will get the code inside description. You will get the link of GitHub, and you can just go over there and download the code, or you can just make some changes after downloading. And that's all guys for this video. Thank you guys for watching this video. Keep supporting us, and thank you once more.